Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money. With your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 1013 of Screw the Commute podcast. Today we're going to talk about a really cool gadget you can get to really up your video game. And it's called a phone or a mobile phone gimbal. So you can still use your mobile phone. You can get gimbals for regular cameras too, but we do a lot on our mobile phones. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. This is part one of the simple things you can do to learn how to use this, because it does take a little bit of practice. And then on part two, we'll give you some fancier stuff you can do in a special way to walk to keep things really, really cool looking. Okay, I hope you didn't miss episode 1012. That was YouTube Crackdown, where they're really cracking down on low effort video. They don't want that. They want you to really do some stuff that's unique and adds value and not just rehashing old stuff all the time. So that was episode 1012. Anytime you want to get to a back episode, you go to screwthecommute.com/ and then the episode number. That was 1012. All right, pick up a copy of my automation ebook at screwthecommute.com/automate free. Make sure you get version 3.0, because it's got new stuff that 2.0 doesn't. So if you've got it in the past, go get another one at screwthecommute.com/automate free. And check out my mentor program at greatinternetmarketingtraining.com and my school at imtcva.org. And by the way, we teach all this video stuff at our it's not VIP anymore, Video Weekend. It's Video Weekend, screwthecommute.com/video weekend. For about 6 years ago, I bought a thing called a DJI Osmo Mobile 3. I've had it for about 6 years. They're now currently on DJI Osmo Mobile 7. And the price is like half of what I paid for it back 6 years ago. Now you can get kits that have a whole bunch of accessories, but if you just want to get a feel for this, for less than $90, you can get started with a mobile phone gimbal. All right, so what the heck is a gimbal? Well, a gimbal is a handheld device, or you can mount it on a tripod. That's absolutely one of the cool things we'll tell you about. But you could, it super stabilizes your cell phone. So you can do all kinds of cool moves. And you're going to have to, since this is an audio podcast, you're just going to have to Google gimbal, video gimbal moves or things like that to see some of the really spectacular things you can do with gimbals. But I'm going to tell you about some of them in this episode. Now, whenever you're shooting cell phones, I probably should have mentioned this on some of our cell phone tip videos, you should put it in airplane mode, because you don't want to get interrupted with a phone call or something right in the middle of a great shot. So put it in airplane mode. And if you tie your gimbal to a lot of the gimbals provide apps, you can do even fancier stuff. For instance, this even six years ago, the app that came with my gimbal, connected to my gimbal and my cell phone with Bluetooth, and it would say, okay, shoot 2.3 seconds of something. And then here, shoot this other shot at 2.7 seconds. Shoot another one of 1.5 seconds. And then shoot another one at 3 seconds. And then it would edit them all together and add music, and all right inside the app. No editing at all. All right. So those kind of things are available if you get the apps with, or if you download the apps with the whatever gimbal you buy. Like I said, I like DJI. That's the drone that I have. Very good quality. I hope they don't get kicked out of the U.S. They're getting a lot of heat because they're tied to China. Okay. So anyway, this first episode, part one, is going to talk about what we call no feet moves. So you can just stand, because once you combine movement and trying to learn the gimbal, you can come out with a lot of crappy shots. So This first one is about what you can do just standing. And the first one is going to be the easiest, and things you probably do already is selfie. So this would be a standing selfie where you're just holding the gimbal with your cell phone attached to it and holding it out and talking. And you're so close, you might not even need an external microphone for that. Now, a lot of the gimbals, probably all of them nowadays, I would think, have face tracking or tracking mode. So if you move your arm a little bit, it'll still stay tracking on your face. Some of the newer models, you can set the tracking not to be in the exact center of the screen. My older model, that's what it is. But the newer models, you can have your face tracked off to center, which is a more pleasing shot, and it leaves room for throwing graphics in later or seeing more of your background or whatever you want to do. So that's the first one, no feet moves. You're just standing there doing selfies. Next thing is a really cool thing called a push through. And what that is you find something like a window or a doorway or something like that, and you just stand on one side and you start your recorder and you slowly push your hand through the doorway. But it makes for a really cool shot, or through a window. It looks like you flew out the window. All right. So that's called a push through, and you don't have to move your feet on that one. You just stand on one side, push right through to the other side. Next is a slider reveal. These are very cinematic, very beautiful shots where you get behind something like a bush or a tree or something like that, and you slide left or right to reveal some great subject that's way behind wherever you are. So it's revealing it. So you could start behind it and move to the right to reveal it, or move to the left to reveal it. So that's a slider reveal where you don't have to move. You just stand there. Another one is a look up slider. So in this case, you might get next to a very ornate wall or something, a lighthouse or something vertical or a building, and you stand in very close to it and you slide up with your hands. I mean, if you really want to do a low to high, you could, I'm not in good enough shape probably to do it smoothly, as you get down very low, bend your knees or kneel down, and then slowly stand up. And then as you stand up, keep your arms moving until it's above your head. And so it's a look up slider. Very, very cool looking shot. Another one is called a fake crane shot. I know when we did our Fatso tennis video, we had a portable crane, it's called. It's like a big heavy duty stand with a big boom on it, and the camera was way out on the end of the boom, and you could make it go real high or real low or and make it move left to right and all over the place. And on our end was a monitor so we could see what the camera was seeing and adjust the camera where it was looking. So that's really fancy, expensive stuff to do that. But you can do a fake crane shot with a gimbal, just with a light pole or a tripod, as long as you can hold it. A lot of these lightweight extendable tripods will go 6-7 feet out, and you put the gimbal on the end of it along with your cell phone, and then you can make it start near the ground and go way, but it's way out in front of you, and it goes way 7-8 feet over your head. So it looks like a crane shot. Or sometimes if you do it, it looks like a drone shot. All right. So it's just basically putting your gimbal on the end of a really long stick, basically what it is. And most of them have a regular screw in, like the 1/4-inch screw that goes under a camera. And so you can, easily find long light stands or selfie sticks that extend really far into like mini tripods and use that for the fake crane shot. Then you can turn the gimbal upside down, either hanging it off of a short selfie stick, or bending over and walking. Well, remember, these ones aren't walking, but this would be where you held it towards the ground, and you can slowly move it forward as far as you can go with your hand, or if you got a selfie stick, you can go even further out. And you only use a short portion of these shots in your final production, so you don't have to go that far. Like I said, you don't have to move your feet to get some spectacular shot. So that's low shots. Think of this when maybe your kid's soccer game, a cool shot to include would be all the little kids' feet like going crazy in the ball. You don't see them from the knee up. All right, it's all low stuff, so it's a cool shot. And then the last one I'll tell you about is, and this is great if you have books or products and things, physical stuff like that, is a slow orbit. So this is where you mount your book, standing up or something, and you get fairly close, and you go as far left as you can, or right, whichever way you want to orbit, and then you move slowly around your book or whatever product you're looking at as far as you can get to the other side. You don't have to go 360 degrees, but it's easy to get 180 degrees right in front of you. Just try to keep it the same distance away from your subject, and that'll be a really cool shot for you. So those are some gimbal moves that you can do without moving your feet. Part 2, we're going to show you a way to walk so you can make some other really spectacular shots while moving with the gimbal. But, like I said, if you jump directly to that, it's pretty tough because there's controls on the gimbal that make it do certain things, and you have to set the app properly. So it's good to do the beginner ones first to get a handle on these things that it'll do, or you'll be in the middle of a shot and hit the wrong button, or you won't hit a button, or you won't have it set up properly for that kind of shot. So I'm giving you the beginner stuff. And for all the major brands, there's tons and tons of YouTube videos showing you the shots, showing you the results of the shots, and then showing you how to do the shots. So now we'll be glad to do it here if you come to our video weekend. But if you don't, and you just want to get your feet wet with this, like I said, the DJI 7 by itself is on sale for $89. Right, it's half the price of when I bought the Mobile 3, and the 7 will do more stuff. Okay, so another little thing about it, when you use a mobile phone gimbal, you have to, before you start shooting, every one of them will have a way for you to balance your camera. See, because there's little motors in your gimbal that turn things. And so if your phone is out of balance, you'll burn your motors out. So what you do is you hold on to in my case anyway, you hold on to it, you put it in the cell phone clamp, and then you just move it left and right a little bit until it doesn't move. If you move it too far one way, it just flops over. And so you got to move it back the other way a little bit. And then when it balances, you're good. And you're not putting extra effort or extra work on those motors that are tiny but powerful, but you don't want to put extra strain on them. So that's balancing your cell phone. But anyway, whatever gimbal you get will have the instructions on how to do that for that gimbal. Okay, so check out my mentor program, greatinternetmarketingtraining.com. If you want hands-on training with this, come check out my video weekend, screwthecommute.com/video weekend, and we will help you with all this stuff. All right, next episode is part 2, is going to be the more fancy gimbal shots where you're moving, and you can do some really spectacular stuff. All right, we'll catch you on the next episode. See you later.